Hi everyone, welcome to Farsight's ET News, the news show that tells you what the extraterrestrials are up to starting in late November 2022. The ET news of what is going to happen, not what did happen. My time traveling friends, let me tell you why Farsight is not a pacifist organization. See, we believe in non-aggression, but that is very different from pacifism. You see, a pacifist believes that it is inappropriate to fight, but that is not us. Here at Farsight, we have seen a universe where every single free species stays free by being able to defend itself. But here's the key. We do not like to pick fights. We don't beat up others in order to gain control, and we are fine with letting everyone do their own thing. Again, we believe in non-aggression. We love everyone and we want the best for everyone, but we also realize through our own firsthand experiences gained while remote viewing that the galaxy is full of bullies. Bullies who do not believe in non-aggression. So if they want something, they will try to do anything in their power to get it. So for a minute, let me explain to you the impotence of being a bully. Impotent bullies. You heard me right. Please hear me out. You see, someone who believes in non-aggression loves it when others live creative lives that they enjoy experiencing. But we have no control over how those others create their experiences. We can only watch and celebrate the beauty that they create. However, they create it. We are free will beings, and free will beings are non-aggressive. But bullies are the opposite. They feel inadequate among themselves, both collectively and individually. And they conceive of a universe in which they can design a solution to their sense of inadequacy. They think that if they can get everybody to obey them, then that would eliminate how badly they actually feel about themselves. So they create a belief system or an ideology based on a vision of how things should work if they were in control. But of course, there are only two ways to get people to conform to their vision. They either have to inspire people to follow them, or they have to intimidate and frighten people into following. The first approach requires real talent in the realm of charisma. And that is the trouble with that approach. Not everyone is talented in that regard. Now, there is no guarantee that a charismatic person will be good. Remember that both Martin Luther King Jr. and Adolf Hitler were both quite charismatic people. Martin Luther King used his charisma to create a better world, and he did it by inspiring people to believe in his dream of such a world. Adolf Hitler, on the other hand, did the opposite with his charisma. He inspired fear and anger and eventually rage in others so that they would blindly follow him and do crazy, terrible things. But regardless of whether or not you do something good or bad with charisma, you need to get people to support your vision. But since not many people have charisma, either for good or for bad, there is a second choice for people who want to deal with their own inadequacy by molding a universe that will hide how badly they actually feel about themselves. That second way is bullying. Every single bully you have ever met was suffering from feelings of inadequacy. They felt like crap because they let themselves become crap. Now, in reality, bullies have a tendency for aggression, but they know that fighting all the time will get themselves hurt.
It's like shining, it's like glowing in a sense, in its hand, and it's covered in a suit, and it's almost like it's collecting energy from these things. And this is what I saw in that moment that I said that.
They don't really like to fight because, well, after all, they feel inadequate. So fighting could reveal to everyone else how inadequate they really are. So they sometimes fight when they perceive a particularly weak target. But mostly they try to frighten people by being aggressive sounding. They make a lot of noise that sounds aggressive, like a mad dog. Their primary weapon is to instill fear in others. Their goal is not to destroy others, but to make others fearful so that the bullies look powerful. It's like a really sick game that they play. So this is why we at Farsight, again, are not pacifists, and this is why we do our ET News show. We know that pacifists become targets for bullies. If someone is not willing to fight, then the bullies feel safe, especially if the pacifists don't have both mental and physical weapons to defend themselves. Pacifists always invite bullies into their midst simply by being pacifists. So, yet again, we at Farsight believe in being able to defend oneself. Militaries are not a necessary evil. Militaries are a necessary good. Through our own firsthand experience as remote viewers, we have seen how some extraterrestrials try to control anyone who is sufficiently weak that they can be intimidated through fear.
Like, very interested in whatever the objects in here are. Like, if making a deduction, I would say it's like some type of museum.
Bullying ETs will always try to scare you, and if you fall for that, they will smile from ear to ear. That is, if they have ears. But for then, they have control over you. Fear is a fuel of control. Now, let me be honest with you. Being a Farsight remote viewer is not easy. It is so hard watching the activities of ET bullies and even moving right into the minds of those ET bullies. Those bullies are very mean, not nice. And when we move into their minds, they can tell we're there. They can be very nasty when we do that. They can snarl, so to speak. Now, they know, and we know, that there is absolutely nothing they can do to anyone at Farsight. We are heavily protected, and they know it. But they are still bullies who project negativity, and not all remote viewers can handle that type of negativity. So, when you see a Farsight remote viewer do these sessions with our mysteries projects and with ET News, please know that these remote viewers are very strong individuals. We want to show you that we are brave so that we can inspire you to be brave also.
The underwater structure seems to be built on a rocky natural slope underwater.
So what is our response when we run into ET bullies? Well, there are 2 points. Point number one. One is that we see their nastiness, and since we are normal humans, we react like normal humans. That bad stuff is simply just bad, and we have to look at it. Let me give you a historical example. During and after World War II, people who looked at the atrocities of the Nazis did not feel neutral. They felt bad and that was bad stuff that they saw, really bad. But the Allies who defeated the Nazis were strong, and they were capable of beating the Nazi bullies. You see, the Nazis preyed on relatively weaker neighbors, easy prey. But when America entered the war, the Nazis ran up against a real enemy, an enemy who could defend itself. You see, back in those days, the United States was predominantly non-aggressive, but it had the capability to defend itself should the need arise. Well, anyway, back to Farsight and our ET News show. At Farsight, we, again, believe in non-aggression. And we show you what the oppressive ETs are doing so that the veil of secrecy will end. And we want to inspire humanity to get up and fight for its freedom. We want to tell every human that lives on this planet that oppressive ETs will try to control you, and their primary weapon will be to inspire fear in you. Fear in all sorts of things. And if they can convince you that they don't even exist, then you will just live in fear, more and more fear, thinking that you are alone in the universe and that no one will come to help you. And then your world will come crashing down, as is the case with all fear-based worlds. People with like minds I also feel riots. So, in the streets, there's this non-surface structure. But if you can drop the fear, then you can see what these bullies are doing behind your back. And you'll be angry, not fearful. And you will finally realize that the ET bullies have absolutely no power over you. You will see that they are impotent. Impotent. So, that is why humanity needs to have good ET allies. Allies who are willing to help us defend ourselves. See, the trouble is, those same good ET allies who believe in free will want you to stand up for yourself before they jump in to help you. They don't want to try to help sniveling snots and snoots who are submerged in fear. What they want to help is brave people who want to kick the bullying, oppressive ETs in the balls. That is, if they have balls. Remember, they are impotent, and that is why we need to support all efforts of our militaries to fight for our freedom. Freedom doesn't come cheap. Freedom always has a cost, like paying rent. And in that sense, pacifists don't pay rent. So they eventually get kicked out into the streets. If humanity is to become truly free civilization, we must be willing to do whatever it takes to pull the bluff of the bullying, oppressive ETs. So if you are defended with a strong military and lots of good free will allies, then when the bullying ETs snarl and try to make you afraid, your best response is to simply say, "So is that the best you got?" And then laugh. Laugh in their face.
They're running into issues because of how diverse these groups are.
If you are paying your dues and you have an effective military and lots of free will supporting ET allies, then the oppressive ETs know that they cannot do a single thing to you. And if their bullying doesn't make you afraid, then they are fully face to face with their own impotence, and there is nothing they can do but go away. Again, there are absolutely no free societies in this galaxy who do not have the ability to defend themselves, both through their own efforts and with the combined efforts of their allies. So pick your friends wisely. Don't make friends with bullies. Bullies don't make friends. They only make slaves. And as I have said in the past, there is a reason why you should watch our new series Conversation with Harvey on farsightprime.com. You see the real-time telepathic communications with friendly free will ETs who are military powerful and who want to be allies to humanity if we ask them. All recorded live. The more you watch it, the more you will become familiar with who these people are, who these beings are, and how they think. So watch and learn along with us. Your freedom and the freedom of everyone on this planet depends on this.